Today's story is not about a movie premiere, a red carpet, or a box office number. It is not about fame, success, or awards. Today's story is about memory. It is about the invisible moments that shape a life. And it is about what remains when someone who mattered deeply is suddenly gone. Cary Elwes, known to generations of fans as Westley from The Princess Bride, has finally found the words to speak about the tragic deaths of director Rob Reiner and his wife, Michele Reiner. What Cary shared was not written for publicity. It wasn't written to attract attention or generate clicks. It was written because grief, when carried quietly for too long, eventually demands to be spoken. Cary Elwes was only 24 years old when he first met Rob Reiner in 1987 on the set of The Princess Bride. At that point in his life, Cary was young, eager, and still learning who he was, not only as an actor, but as a person. Rob Reiner, on the other hand, was already established, confident, and respected as a filmmaker. Despite that difference, Cary has said that from the very first meeting, Rob made him feel equal. Not smaller, not lesser, equal. Cary has described how he didn't just admire Rob Reiner's work, he fell in love with him as a human being. Meeting Rob didn't feel like meeting a powerful director. It felt like meeting someone who genuinely cared. There was warmth, there was openness, there was trust. As the days passed and they spent more time together, Cary realized this was not a temporary connection. This was someone he wanted in his life long after the cameras stopped rolling. When Rob Reiner cast Cary Elwes as Westley, Cary later said it felt like being handed the keys to the castle. But it wasn't just a career opportunity. It was a sign of belief. Rob believed in him, and that belief changed everything. What stayed with Cary the most wasn't Rob's talent, influence, or reputation. It was Rob Reiner's heart. Rob wore his heart on his sleeve. He felt things deeply and openly without fear or embarrassment. He wasn't impressed by money. He wasn't impressed by power, titles, or privilege. The only question Rob cared about was simple. Are you a good person? Rob always tried to find the best in people, and when someone was struggling, he didn't judge them or turn away. He felt compassion. Rob loved his family with his whole heart. He loved his friends with loyalty and devotion. And while he was undeniably a brilliant filmmaker, Rob once shared something with Cary that stayed with him for the rest of his life. Rob used to say, "Once the movie is released, it belongs to other people. But while you are making it, that's your time on the planet. So you want to make it good." That idea went far beyond filmmaking. It was a way of living. For Cary Elwes, the time spent making The Princess Bride was pure joy. He has said that he cannot remember a single day on set without laughter. Not one day, not one memory. There was joy in the work, joy in the people, joy in simply being present. The film itself is about love, loyalty, courage, and sacrifice, values Rob Reiner lived by every day of his life. That is why Cary believes Rob was the perfect person to direct it. Later in life, while working on When Harry Met Sally, Rob Reiner met Michele, and everything changed. They fell in love. Michele was a gifted photographer, but even more than that, she was known for her intelligence, compassion, and deep emotional strength. She cared deeply about her family. She cared deeply about people. She cared deeply about lifting others up. Together, Rob and Michele were more than just a couple. They were partners in values, in purpose, and in life. Fame was never the destination. To them, fame was simply a tool, a way to draw attention to causes they believed in and to support people who were often marginalized or unheard. In a city where many people talk about integrity, Rob and Michele lived theirs quietly and consistently. Whenever Cary spent time with them, the conversations always returned to what truly mattered: family, life, art, meaning. And no matter how serious the conversation became, Rob always found a way to make people laugh. Joy mattered to him. Laughter mattered. Cary has said that if he could make Rob laugh in return, it felt like winning the lottery. Because Rob's laugh, full, warm, and completely genuine, was one of the greatest sounds he had ever known. Even now, that laugh still echoes in his memory. In the final part of his tribute, Cary Elwes shared something painfully honest. He said that because his heart still aches every time he thinks of Rob and Michele, he knows the grief of losing them too soon may never fully fade. He referenced one of the most famous lines from The Princess Bride: "Death cannot stop true love." And then he added his own truth: "Life is pain without you." Cary ended by thanking Rob and Michele for sharing their lives, their love, and their art with the world. And, together with his family, he sent condolences and prayers to their family, their friends, and everyone whose life they touched. This tribute is not just about loss. It is about legacy, about kindness, about laughter, about choosing compassion in a world that often forgets it, and about a love so real that even time cannot erase it.